The He podcast is powered by Higgy Nutrition. Healthy gut, happy you. Who is he? He is me. Hi, I'm Rafi Redzwan. This is he. Here is my chance to share some amazing stories with some amazing people that are inspiring to me. He celebrates everyday people of everyday life. He revolves around conversations that inspire others to change the world and make a difference in life, with a little bit of laughter and a whole lot of drama. Join me for personal stories and experiences on health and healing, successes and failures, recovery and discovery, anything relatable, and anything in between. He elevates us to rise again and live our very best life. Just so you know, you are not alone. He is with you. We all know that vegetables and greens are good for you and are essential for good health and proper nutrition. However, given our current lifestyles and hectic pace of life, it sometimes is difficult to get all your nutrition on a daily basis. That's where my Daily Greens comes in. My Daily Greens is a premixed prebiotic drink that contains chlorophyll, spirulina, pomegranate, ashwagandha, and pagaga, all in a convenient sachet. If you want to be the boss of your health, just mix one sachet of My Daily Greens with water for better gut health, better energy, and immunity support. I have been taking My Daily Greens for some time now and have noticed improvements in my gut health and my overall well-being. Plus, it tastes good. As a special offer to listeners of the He podcast, you can get 10% of your order by using the code HE10 at checkout. Just head on to higgynutrition.com, that's HGHYnutrition.com, or visit the link in the description below. Good to have you today.
Great, fantastic, me too.
Yes, thank you for joining me in this show to talk about you.
That's
To
the
talk
weirdest thing.
Dr. Hannah Nazri lives her wildest dreams by moving past her reflections and celebrating her triumphs. In this episode, she defines what it means to lead a life beyond her imagination. The formidable circumstances in her early days did not stop her from becoming the person she aspired to be. Today, she is an academic clinical fellow of the National Institute for Health and Care Research and a specialty trainee doctor in obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Warwick. She also founded the Malaysian Doctors for Women and Children in 2021, a community of Malaysian doctors passionate about the academic and scientific discourse of non-medical cultural practices that affect women and children in Malaysia. She shares her take on freedom through the feminist lens, how she dials in her authentic self to live her best, and how her aspiration in life fuels the drive to stay in the game and keep exploring something new. This is her story. Hi, Dr. Hannah Nazri.
Hello, hi Rafi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm alright, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so honored to have you on the show today to talk about living your wildest dream. Before we start, I think we want to go dive into your life as Dr. Nazri, Hannah Nazri. This is where you see yourself, accept, and move past your reflection to explore and embrace your authentic self, becoming the best version of yourself, setting the course to independence and freedom, living your wildest dream. What is your definition of living my wildest dream?
So, if I go back to a decade ago, I could never imagine the life I would be leading today. So, when I was
Yeah.
14, I almost died from high fevers, headache, and extreme fatigue. And during that, to God that I'll still want to live. Also, like when I was 17, I remembered a few people who told me to forget about my dreams to study medicine. The thing is, in life, there's always problems. I sometimes forget how blessed I am. And I've kept journals since I was young. And humans often lost this perspective, especially with social media.
Yes,
So,
it's so true.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we forget that. these so-called overnight successes are actually long-term hard work. So what I'm trying to say is like all of us are living our wildest dreams.
It is a wildest dream at some point, but you did mention about how you were bullied in school, you see? And to get to where you are today, take that realization that when you said you look back at when you were 14 to see where you are today and how far you've come with all the things that you've done, why would you say that you would not think you would be living this wildest dream?
Well, I think back then it was really difficult to see what I could be today for many reasons.
Mm-hmm,
Partly to do with our family's financial circumstances at the time,
mm-hmm,
and also like how people around you. So people have told me before that it is impossible for me to go to UK because it's a good place to study. It has a strong history of excellent doctors. So I've always aimed for the best.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with social surroundings, really.
Yeah, and you have an impressive background, Dr. Nazri. It's you have a PhD or DPhil from the Oxford University. You were a finalist of a Women of the Future Award, published papers. That's very impressive to me, and how far you've come. Um, can you share your experience? You know, it's so hard to digest this because it's so impressive. It's so
Oh, come
impressive.
on.
I was going through one by one, and I love how you introduce yourself in your Instagram, in your blog, in your website, nazri.org. Um, can you share your experience um, finding yourself like towards getting your education to the UK, despite being bullied and all that? What drives you?
What drives me?
Yeah, and what are your sorts of strengths at the time, like to deny all these naysayers and I can do it despite all the circumstances you were going through?
People have told me that
Mm-hmm.
I have an interesting life. And the reality is that life does not happen to you, but you have to make life happen. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we may want to pursue a path which is completely different than what society assumes you should be doing based on your gender or socioeconomic status. So, unless you are brave and willing to undergo the difficulties of pursuing your own path, then your life will be boring. All of us are
Mm-hmm.
privileged in some way or the other, and we may not realize this unless we go out there and open our eyes and listen to our hearts. But let's not
Yeah.
talk about privilege. Let's focus on what we can do as a person and
Mm-hmm.
what we can do with a bit of help from others. I'm fully aware that where I am today is due to hard work, but also a lot of help from others who see my potential.
They're your family, I see. You wrote about them, how they were there for you in your success, in your journey to success.
Absolutely. I
Is
think as
yeah?
the oh, yes,
Yeah.
I'm motivated by my own future family in the future.
Yes.
My own future family in the future. That's future twice. Anyway,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
I would like to become a mother to be an inspiration to my own children, but at the moment I'm enjoying my nephews and niece, and I hope to inspire them on a path to become a great person.
Mhm. You've lived in the UK for so long. Do you miss home?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
felt that to a certain extent that I what I wanted to do isn't so easily available in Malaysia, and I
Hmm.
felt that I need to spend the years here in order to achieve what I need to achieve, and
Hmm.
hopefully one day I do have plans to go back to Malaysia.
Hmm.
The thing is, I also believe that wherever you are, contribute to Malaysia, and I've
Yeah.
shown this by the many things I've done in the past. And prior to the Malaysian Doctors, worked for more
Yes.
than a decade with the Khalsa movement since medical school.
How the Malaysian Doctors for Women and Children was found.
So the idea sort of like came about in 2019. I was invited by sisters in Islam. When we think about violence, we often think about domestic violence, we often think about sexual harassment, but we don't think about um, the more subtle forms of like violence. And I call this violence. It's a very strong word actually. Uh,
Yeah.
um, Especially on the topics of like gender pain gap, where women are
Mhm.
not taken seriously for their pain, and female genital cutting or female circumcision. We don't see the impact of female circumcision on obstetric outcomes as invasive types. I still do believe like to become more harmful in the future if we don't stop it now. So that was my inspiration, and I spent a few years thinking about like what would be best to approach these two subjects, and I realized that the best way is to educate healthcare professionals. We need the
Mhm.
voice of healthcare professionals to say no against all these harmful practices. The change needs to come within the healthcare profession, and that's why I started the Malaysian Doctors for Women and Children.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I grew up. My father, I don't know if I can share this. My father believed that it's not the sunnah. If you talk about religion, yeah. So
Mm,
he never enforced that thing on my sisters.
mm,
So I grew up knowing that that is not the right thing to do. It was violence against women. It's to I remember my dad said that it's just at the time they just do that to women on purpose to hurt them. So he
uh,
never did it. So when this thing sort of emerged into the social media and everything, this is not new, and it's not right because it is a choice, but I think if it's done in a manner where it's intentionally to hurt people, that's when it's wrong.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really interesting that your father said that.
Yeah.
However, I
Hmm.
also believe that there are parents out there who do not know much about this practice, who continue or thinking about continuing female genital cutting on their children. They don't want to hurt their children. I mean, like
Hmm.
parents usually think the best of their children, and the reason why the practice continues is because of the wrong beliefs that it's compulsory in
Yeah.
religion, or that it would spiritually enhance their daughters in a beneficial way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. And I think I remember this in Malay. It's called the during Zaman Arab Jahiliyyah. They used to not like girls because if they believe it's the right thing to do, and the society tells you it's the right thing to do, people will still do it.
Absolutely. I think change is going to be
Right.
slow, but
Yeah.
I still we need the few voices to speak out, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Currently, an OBGYN. You've done your PhD, and how far along are you in training?
I consider myself still a baby in this area,
Mhm. Yeah.
and clinically, there's still a lot of things I need to learn, and as compared to like I have
Hmm.
a research and a PhD
Yeah.
research experience. So,
Hmm.
because I
Hmm.
do acknowledge that I still have a long way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. How have this experience changed you?
I think the key to make your life interesting is to not
Yeah.
pigeonhole yourself into any boxes, because society will tell you that this is this and this is what you do because you are this and this and this. So people look at me and think, oh, yeah, you're a doctor. This is what you do. This is what you shouldn't do. And actually, you can do anything you want. Okay, we're
Yeah.
adults. There's no your parents are not going to tell you don't do this and that. Okay, maybe to a certain extent they would, but you are your own person. You can do anything you want to make your life interesting.
Yeah.
I like to travel, and maybe it's a bit strange and unusual, but it isn't. Like if you really put your mindset towards you literally can do anything you want, then you would work your very best to do anything you want. I've published poems. I've participated in an art exhibition in
Mm-hmm.
Paris to talk about the period poverty, the gender
Mm.
pay gap, and climate change. So I've done many things, and it's because I don't see myself in a particular box. If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
you explore yourself and basically you explore your limits too. If
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
do all you can. You recently went to Rwanda. How has that experience been? It's something unusual that most people don't go. How is Rwanda? You went to um you went to a seminar or something.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
I was invited to go to Rwanda for the
Yeah.
Women Deliver conference, and that was
Yes.
funded by ARO, which is a
Hmm.
Asian Pacific Research and Resource Center for Women, which is based in Malaysia. So Women Deliver is the largest conference of its kind for gender equity, and it's attended
Hmm.
by governmental bodies, attended by the UN bodies and nonprofit organizations. And basically, the aim is to promote gender equity. And Rwanda
Hmm.
is beautiful. Believe it or not, Rwanda is very clean. It reminds me of old PJ. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it reminds me of Malaysia a lot. And I'm thinking like, wow, the weather's nice like Malaysia. Um, the only thing it doesn't have many skyscrapers yet.
Mm. Mm. That's interesting. Very interesting. And when you do get invited to this all sort of talk, we know that you come from this background who's very educated. Do you ever get nervous at all? Do
Of
you
course.
worry about saying the wrong things? And what if this question goes in your mind at the time? I always wonder, like, do you ever feel nervous?
Oh, absolutely, Rafi. I'm
Yeah?
nervous all the time. I'm even
Yeah.
nervous on this podcast. Like, am I saying the right things?
I'm nervous too, talking to someone very intellectual. I'm like, do I say? I worry like if I say the wrong things,
You know what I
I got to
worry
be
the
okay.
most?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I worry that because of my background now, I worry that I cannot connect to other women, especially when it
Mm.
comes to talking about practices that they're doing, and I don't want to come across as someone who's telling them what to do.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yes. Yes. Do you experience that as a challenge? Like, is that something you worry, or it has happened to you that people look up to you so much, they respect you, you are someone who is, I can say, reputable? Do, is that something you experience?
It hasn't happened to me before, but I also don't want to sound like I know everything, you know nothing kind of
Hmm.
experience, because I do believe that all of us as women have our own life experience and doctors don't know everything. I mean, I cannot go into the minds of patients to completely
Hmm.
understand, especially in a short consultation period, just to give an example. And
Hmm.
like when I say things online, I don't want to come across as I'm a know-it-all.
Well said. Well said. And you are open to discussion as well. Being, I think,
Absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and then you would hear them out. What is your defining moment in this journey?
I think there isn't like one specific defining moment for me, and like I do feel like I have several defining moments, like moments which change your perspective. And like for
Mm.
me, that I can tell you about is probably like a year and a half ago when I realized that probably no certain like specific pathway that I felt I could use and follow
Mhm.
up with, and therefore that I have to have many role models and for specific things, and they change over time as well. So becoming this weird hybrid of a clinician and a scientist is not easy. So as
Mhm.
an academic clinical fellow at the University of Warwick, I'm
Mhm.
allocated 75% of clinical work where I do my obs and gynae training, and the rest is research. It's impossible to be a great OB-GYN doctor, obs and gynae
Mhm.
doctor, or a
Mhm.
scientist. I had to choose. So I thought a lot about this in the last couple of months. And what
Mm.
I've come to realize is that I cannot make anyone happy. So I may as well do what I feel right is for me, and that way I can succeed at my own goals.
So are you saying that all this experience that it's does this happen in the UK? When people tell you you cannot do this because of your um, condition or because who you are, because you're a woman, does this happen in the UK?
Yeah, it happens
It
practically
happens
like
in the UK. In the
it
UK.
happens. Yeah, it happens in the UK. It happens practically everywhere I
In
go
everywhere.
because it's hard. I
Oh.
mean, to become a good clinician, to become a good surgeon, and
Mm.
trying to do your research work as well is really hard. Like, where do you find the time? But
Yeah.
I've come to realize that people don't really understand like what I meant. So
Mhm.
clinician scientists are meant to be the interface between clinical medicine and research. And we don't only understand complex scientific ideas, but how these can be applied in clinical situations. So my aim is to become the best clinician scientist. It may not be
Mm.
necessarily the same as becoming the best surgeon or the best scientist, and we have to be both, and it's a tricky balance. I don't feel that those people who told me about that were being nasty. They are realistic at some point, but whether I want to take that and feel depressed about it,
Mhm.
or whether I want to take that and try to see how I can balance this weird
Yes.
combination.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes. Yes, I so know. When you spoke about it, it reflects to my working days 10 years ago. I can never say the word hate. I don't like that feeling.
Mm,
I don't like that feeling being, that whether you can choose to be depressed or take it professionally when it is something very personal,
mm,
so it has to do with you as a person, but at the same time keeping that balance, it's just know where to put your foot on the ground, understand what it means. Sometimes you overthink and overanalyze stuff.
mm.
um, it really takes me back 10 years ago when I was working. It's not the feeling I like. It's not. And today is still sometimes when I have to pitch to people of a topic which may not hit the right button. If it's a
Mm.
turn off to them, I'm like, I will overthink, and it's still happening to me at this age. So I can understand where you're coming from. It's not an easy. It's not easy just to understand your own feeling too. Sometimes,
Oh, absolutely. That's why I think the best way is to really understand what you want to get out of your job
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
do it in your own.
Own unique way. Yes, yes. Um, you spoke about neurodiverse journey. Um,
Hmm,
how did you find out? How did you find out that you're neurodiverse?
how did I find out? It's basically when I
Yes.
was doing the PhD in Oxford, and I realized, well, especially like when you go through a bit of like a down moment in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're doing the things correctly or like you understand people properly, and then you start to reflect on your experience in school as a teenager,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you start to analyze your relationships with other people. That's when I realized that, okay, maybe I am autistic. I
Mm-hmm.
decided to do the assessment more so to like understand what I can do for myself, not necessarily to get any extra help, because I don't feel like I needed help. I mean, if I do, I don't mind asking for help, just to put it out there. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how it began.
So you went to get help, and then that's how you just realized that you
Well,
have
I'm
all these
over.
attributes.
Well, I'm oversimplifying the process, but
Mm-hmm.
it is a long, long
Mm-hmm.
journey of the experience you had as a
Okay.
child being bullied. and not being understood, and your university experience, which I don't exactly want to speak about, but
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. When it's something similar that when I found out I got ADHD, it's not something I want to share about too because it's so dark. Um, I did get help, and then it's liberating to know that, oh, this is what happened to me. This is why it happened.
mm,
You come to yourself and be like, oh, okay, now I know why your childhood trauma or whatever happened to you. You were bullied, like I was bullied too. Like I have never, deemed normal to some people because I was just different. And then there's something I cannot talk about here as well, that I've never come to public about it. And then when I did get help, learning all that, what is wrong with me was sort of validated what I experienced.
you can only
Mm.
get
And
help if you understand what the problem is.
yes, yes. And I salute you for, going through all this process, and doing your PhD is not easy. My wife, I went through with her when she did her PhD. It's not easy. And with my problems in my life, I stopped there. I stopped. I couldn't do my master's or even do PhD. I just, so it's really hard. It's with all these things going on at the same time for me, you know,
Mm,
and I'm relieved to find out, like you said, you always have to find ways to explore yourself and make it interesting than just sit
yeah,
there and do nothing. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
What is your most valuable lesson in life? And what are your words of wisdom you hold? Perhaps you can share your advice to those struggling to live their dreams.
Well, if you have failed once,
Mhm,
twice, thrice, don't ever think that it was not meant for you.
mhm.
Just have to keep trying again. And if people tell you to stop dreaming above your station, don't listen to them. Do whatever feels right for you. Be extremely tenacious in seeking what you want, seek help, and appreciate those who understand your dreams.
And before we end the conversation, Dr. Hana Nazri, what are your hopes and dreams?
My dreams are pretty simple. I want to make a difference, a positive difference in whoever I meet. I am living my wildest dream now.
Yes. You are an inspiration to me. You are living an exciting life. Continue to make a difference. Continue do the work that you do for the good of others. In the service of others. I'm so proud of you, Dr. Hannah. I really am,
Oh, thank you.
and I hope, you get to become a mother one day
Mhm.
and achieve all your dreams. Thank you for joining me in this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Support the He podcast via a one-time donation, a monthly subscription from as low as $1, a lifetime membership, and purchase He's exclusive collection of merchandise. And for all other business inquiries at buymeacoffee.com/Rafi. Thank you for listening to He. A new episode is available every Thursday, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear from you. Follow me on social media at Rafi Ridzwan and at He Podcast for all the updates and behind the scenes. Once again, thank you for listening to He with Rafi Ridzwan.